She stood on the front lines of criticism against Islam.
Sorry to tell you.
She preached against it. She warned others about it, but then something changed.
We're ready from God.
What made Mariana Tavares, a woman once devoted to opposing Islam, walk the path she never thought she would? Stay till the end, because this story is not what you expect.
But the answer is, it's because of our sin. The evil came to the world. But God is so loved the world that He sent His only Son, Jesus Christ, to give us.
Mariana Tavares wasn't just skeptical about Islam, she was one of its loudest critics. She challenged Muslims at every opportunity. She believed Islam was oppressive, outdated, and dangerous, and she made sure that anyone who listened to her knew it. For years, she posted videos, wrote articles, and even engaged in public debates. Islam is not a religion of peace. Muslims are brainwashed. The Quran is full of contradictions. These were the arguments she stood by. Until one conversation changed everything. During a debate with a Muslim scholar, she confidently laid out her points. But instead of anger, instead of defensiveness, the scholar simply asked her, "Have you ever read the Quran for yourself?" She had read articles. She had read about Islam. But had she ever actually read the Quran herself? For the first time, she didn't have an answer. That one question stayed with her. She tried to shake it off. She told herself that she already knew the truth. She reminded herself that she had debunked Islam many times before. But doubt is a powerful thing. One night, unable to ignore the question anymore, she decided to do something she never thought she would. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. And that's when everything changed. What did she discover? What made her rethink everything she believed? Keep watching, because this is where her journey truly begins. For years, she had spoken against this book. She had warned others about it. She had called it dangerous, manipulative, even false. But now, here it was, right in front of her. Would reading it confirm what she had always believed, or would it prove her wrong? In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Right from the very first words, something felt different. She expected to find words of anger, of division, of war. Instead, she found words of compassion, of mercy, of guidance. This is the book about which there is no doubt, a guidance for those conscious of Allah. From Al-Baqarah, verse 2. No doubt. Was this book actually calling her out? She wanted to find contradictions. She wanted to prove it wrong. But the more she read, the harder it became. At first, she dismissed it as poetic language, but then she came across something that stopped her cold. The Quran spoke of the universe expanding. Quran 51:47. It described the development of an embryo in the womb. Quran 23:12-14. It spoke of mountains as stabilizers for the earth. Quran 16:15. These were things science had only discovered recently. How could a book written over 1400 years ago contain knowledge like this? She thought. She had spent years mocking Islam for being outdated. But now, she was questioning if it was ahead of its time. Do they not then reflect on the Quran? Had it been from anyone other than Allah, they would have found in it many contradictions. Quran 4:82. It was as if the book was speaking directly to her. She had come looking for contradictions, and yet she couldn't find any. She had spent years speaking against Islam, but now, for the first time, she wondered if Islam had been speaking to her all along. For days she had been reading, for nights she had been questioning, and now she was at war, not with Islam, not with anyone else, but with herself. She had built her entire identity around rejecting this religion. If I accept this, what happens to everything I've ever said? What will people think of me? What if I've been wrong all along? Her past self was screaming at her, "You can't do this. You've spent years fighting against Islam. You'll lose everything." But then, another voice whispered, "You asked for the truth, and now it's right in front of you."
Whoever Allah guides, no one can mislead, and whoever He allows to stray, no one can guide. Quran 7-186.
It was as if the Quran was speaking directly to her heart. She had spent years fighting against guidance. But what if that guidance had been waiting for her all along? She typed in a single sentence. How does someone become Muslim? It was simple, but it was everything. For the first time in her life. She hesitated. Then, with a shaky voice, she whispered, "I think I want to become Muslim." She had fought Islam. She had rejected it. She had spoken against it. But in the end, Islam found her.
Allah ilaha illallah anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh.
Allahu Akbar. Is the greatest day of your life. Your entire past has been cleansed. Throughout your journey, all the things you went to has led you back to the one Creator that inspired Abraham, Moses, Jesus, and Muhammad. Peace be.
For the first time in her life, she felt at peace. She had spent years fighting Islam, but now she had embraced it with her whole heart. But her journey was far from over, because her real test was just beginning. She had taken the Shahada, but she still had so much to learn. Islam was more than just words, it was a way of life. So that night she prepared for something she had never done before. As she placed her forehead on the ground in sujood, she felt something she had never felt before. For the first time in her life, she wasn't lost anymore. She expected rejection. Instead, she found a family she never knew she had. "You're our sister now," one woman told her, holding her hands. "Welcome home." She had lost people, but she had gained something greater. I fought against Islam for years. I thought I knew everything. I thought I was right. But when I finally let go of my pride, when I opened my heart, I found the truth that had been waiting for me all along. To those who are still searching for answers, maybe, just maybe, you've already found them. You just have to listen. If you found Mariana's journey inspiring, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories like this. What do you think about Mariana's transformation? Tell us in the comments below, and turn on notifications so you never miss an incredible story like this.